Alright, I thought I would just give a rundown over kind of what I'm looking for when I do this Blitz Rush stuff. Seems to work pretty well, often. And we're going to do it on glitters, do a couple people. Nothing too crazy. But this one is good because it kind of shows what I'm looking for when I run by, and it's kind of like the super bog standard build, like bare bones of it. So we'll throw it into my view here, so you can see what I'm seeing. And it just starts off just as a typical basic build. Watch your wind. Either go solar, go wind if it's good. On this map, you gotta be prepared to go solar. A lot of times you can be prepared to go solar, even though it's not as efficient, since what we're doing is really just spamming Blitz. Having that consistency is really valuable often. So I like to do this from the corners, either where like Phantom is over here or where I'm at here. Generally the two places that I look for when I want to do Blitz Rush on glitters. You can do it from frontline too, especially from Canyon. I've done it from Canyon a number of times because it's easier to hold. You can IQ check people just by making walls and then just running the blitzes through the canyon or through just whatever gaps. And that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to be, how do we spot the gaps, When I do this build, I usually just start with 2 con vehicles. Like I said, we're basically trying to push everything into getting it so we can just produce blitz every few seconds on a T1 eco, and we're going to put all of our attention into microing our blitz. They're just rushing the scouts. Scouts are generally not a problem. Sometimes you might have to cancel this one and make a blitz to catch some ticks coming in, but for the most part, blitz are very strong into scouts, and we would love to go against the tick spammer because the blitzes will just obliterate them all. The main reason this build is good and the way it works is just by taking pressure off of your team, trying to disrupt a front line from ever starting. These times when people are scout harassing each other, it's great that he's handling the scouts because it's just going to let us go for blitzes. So I'm going to queue it up. I'm having it over here. I see them coming in. I want to make sure that I get something out in time. So I'll probably grab my commander here and boost it out. I'm just trying to determine whether I really need it or not. So I'll just boost the end of it out. You can see they're running, so I don't really worry about it anymore. Blue's picking them out, and what I'm looking for is commanders. I want to see scouts, I want to see commanders, I want to see what's coming to the front. See, this guy's creeping right here. I notice orange is actually paired up with his con, which probably means he's just going to slow walk all the way down. It's all little stuff that you got to look for. So we've got my rally point. Blitz production is pretty much coming online. You can see with glitters, even though the wind is high, I want to get these advanced solars out so that I can keep going. I can at least keep the blitzes up while the wind crashes. And so it's good to build them now when it's high. Get some metal. Kind of screwed up with my con vehicle, but as you can see, once you get rolling, it just doesn't matter. In this particular game, I'm hearing a lot of blitzes going off, peewees, the scouts. I know that I'll have a little bit more extra time to before I want to start hitting. I want them to be like, okay, I'm done with scouts. I'm going to switch over to my other vehicles now. I'm going to switch out of scouts. And we'll take advantage of that brief pause while they have to stack up. We're going to get bombed. You can see in the chat it was called out, but thankfully they're arm bombers, so they're not nearly going to be as effective. They respond eventually. He really doesn't get time with it. Meanwhile, I'm over here. I'm getting my con turrets ready. I want both of these up con turrets. We got plenty of energy. Eating up our rocks. And we're getting ready to go with our first blitzes. So I'm looking here like, this is what I'm seeing. You can see we've got the mass here. We've got two potential gaps that I'm looking at. When you see something like this, it's probably a con. See, that con just finished that mechs. And you can see I noticed these are moving pretty fast, so I'm immediately thinking, well, these are either grunts or blitzes, and so I noticed I got my LLTs here, so I'm just going to form up, see if we can get them to check us. They do. We just poke in, right? I'm concerned now. Oh, do I have another blitz pusher? Do I have someone else who's going to try and disrupt the whole game? So right now, I want to try and bait him. I want to try and get him to commit to fight because I have the LLTs. If he pushes, I know his commander's front because I've seen him. I've got a free run to the back of his base. And you can see I'm just going to kind of jockey for that as we go. Meanwhile, same old thing. Got my con turrets coming out, keeping the resources going. I'm not bottoming out. I want to make sure that I've got something here, so if I need to transition out to the Mausers or something like that, I can. We kind of want to keep our resources sort of high so that we can adapt. But as you can see right here, I know I've got enough now. I see he's putting up his wall, and once I see that wall, I know you're gonna have a much harder time running the blitzes through, and it will probably cause him to attack. So you can see I'm getting ready here. I know he's getting hit. Watching the blitzes, I'm watching to see, okay, it's clear, there's the commander, we can go now. We can sprint this, we'll make it past the D-gun, and it's over. Like, I'm fanning out now, going for as many mechs as I can. Make the immediate fight here, immediately wipe his units. Oh, flanking damage is really how this works. And now I'm fanning. You can see I'm just clicking out, spreading the tracks as much as I can. I want to hit as much stuff as I can. I can see, okay, not a response unit, right? He's not responding to me. I'm going to go straight for orange. I'm going to go for the go. First thing we want to do is focus power. I know his commander's not here. I know I can't be D-gunned. I want to completely stall his power. Stall the power, the lab functions, the commander can't D-gun you. It pretty much ends the game. So now the next thing is the lab, and I know I have a free con. No one's going to be here in time. I'm immediately going to go for the next player. Haven't seen him pull back, and so we're just going in. Again, I'm going straight for the power. Power generation first. Always going for those wind packs. It's easy to kill winds, solars, whatever we can get. And now here we're going to go for the lab. And you can see I'm microing the hell out of these, dodging bullets as much as I can. I see the comm. I want to keep moving, right? Because your vehicles, you do want to keep moving. And right now I'm just going to commit to the lab. I don't care anymore. We did something with them, and now these are basically forfeit. My next one's ready to go. I'm going to send these up. I see the con there. That was worth losing all 3 for. Make sure they can't reclaim. Try and keep them from reclaiming and getting back in the game. So now I'm just sending these up, getting my next wave ready. Because I still have 3, that's enough to do some wind damage. I cruise them back here, I got my next group, and I'm going to push the same gap. There's no reason to go anywhere else on the map. You've already punched a hole, so you're going to keep exploiting that hole over and over. So we get some wins out of here, not much is left. Go for what we got, boom, dead, whatever. So again, I've got my next unit, it's ready to go. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to pick them up with these. We're going to go up the same hole that we went before. Everything should be dead. It should be basically a free run in. You can see, bam, that's one of the primary counters to this build. Really important, do not back down. If you back down, you will lose. I killed his Janices. Yes, I wiped that whole big push out, and now I know Red really, Red has my number. He wants to try and save this game. So at this point, I know I've killed 2, and Red is going to be the primary threat. He's going to try and OP take these areas, reclaim, and he would, since he already knows I saw Janice's, I know he's a threat, I know he has an idea of how to deal with this. So we're going to just try and do some damage to him. One blitz is not enough to really do anything. I'm mostly just scouting his base, looking for everything with this push, trying to get any energy, just whatever I can do. I want to scout it because I want to hit the important parts next. I want to know where everything is. We got our next push. We're ready to go, and that's how this works. You just keep exploiting the gap that you made. If you get a gap like this and you get kills, you have to keep going. You will see I have not expanded. I've got 6 advanced solars. My comm is just boosting. Everything is just boosting blitzes. That's all I'm doing. I'm just boosting blitzes. We're running through now. We're probing the other side. I know red's a threat, but I want to make sure that this guy isn't rebuilding. I want to go revisit these bases, make sure there hasn't been a reclaim, a res, or an assistance. See people calling me out. Again, now I know, we have T2 from backline. We have Artie, so I can use their shots against them. We're running straight for the back. Fan out a little bit. Go for all this power. Power first. Power first. I spot some cons. Cons are really important. We want to kill those. I will double back and be willing to accept killing these 2 cons. At this point, I see the shots coming in. What do we want to do? We want them to shoot their own base, right? So that's what we're trying to do. Here's a juicy wind pile. Let them shoot their own stuff. It's detonating. Why even push? I just die. Get the next run. Get the next wave getting ready to go. We're doing the last bit of damage we can with ours. Anything we can target, I've basically abandoned them at this point. Really doesn't matter what they do. They're just gonna die from explosions because they have no health. But still a whole nother chunk of wins. Not bad. Didn't get it, but now I know where his build power is. Next wave's queued up. This one, I decide I really want to help here. I have the ability to flank damage all of this, and he's got a lab. And if I can stop this right now, not only do I keep red from being able to make a solid front, I probably put me in a position where he can get all this reclaim and really do something. So I'd go for that. Now you can see I see the commander. And I've killed 2, and this is where I'm gonna tell my team and say, hey, it's time to end this. We have an army here. You can see a good army. I see his commander out in the open. He's focused over here where I've been running by, and we're gonna go for the commander assassination. We just want to kill his comm. That will stop his ability to hit us in the future. We know we've done some power damage, but he's gonna have at least 1 or 2 D guns, minimum. So we make sure we fan hard. Run in, he's sleeping. We catch him sleeping, and it's too late. It's already too late. There's no way. Boom. Commander's dead. Now he can't stop. He can't degun the slow T1s. He can't stop the tanks. There's almost nothing he can do at this point. His game is basically over now. I'm gonna pull up my next wave, and I'm just gonna go fight. At this point, we just try and encourage our team to keep pushing. We don't want to tech. There's no point. 2 are dead. He's covering for the whole team. If we get that lab, it's basically game over. I'm trying to pick up any of the rest of his stuff. I see some damage. I don't want to engage that. My team has tanks. It's not my job to engage the army at this point. At this point, we want to make sure there is no coming back for red. Lab goes down. 100% over. I pretty much called the end. I'm going to fan out, and I'm just going to go for everything I can. Back for resources. You can see I really want these advanced solars here. I want to hit that heavy power generation, but I can't get through that wave of tanks. There's no point. So we'll trim it. At this point, you can see I'm still just stacking blitzes. I haven't grown my base. I've just maxed out everything into blitzes. Petered out there, gonna grab the next wave, the bombings. It's just a free-for-all. You can see you've just created a free-for-all for your team. There's no coming back. We keep the pressure on. always. Front should be free. They can just vacuum everything up, and we're going to not worry about the resources. We're just going to hit them. We're going to focus on micro to knock out the opponents as quickly as possible. If you notice your team is not responding, that's when you want to talk about transitioning to Mausers or fighting a more standard battle, because this is a big feed, and if you are just playing people's bases, you're giving them thousands of metal and probably throwing the game. You can see here, I went right for this power generation. They resigned, game's over. That's pretty much it.